Hello students! As promised, I will give you a supplementary session for the topic myeloproliferative disorders. Our outline for today, discuss natin what is the clinical definition of your myeloproliferative disorders, and there are several types, we will discuss or we will focus with only just four conditions: chronic myelogenous leukemia, polycythemia vera, essential thrombocythemia, and primary myelofibrosis. We will also discuss the laboratory diagnosis for each type of myeloproliferative disorders. Myeloproliferative disorders or technically best term daw dito ay myeloproliferative neoplasms. Okay? It is basically defined as proliferation of all blood cells in the bone marrow, myeloid in the bone marrow. It is considered as neoplasm or cancer kasi itong mga cells na pinoproduce ng bone marrow mo ay uh, they do not follow the normal cell cycle, the normal differentiation and maturation. What are the major pathophysiology of this type of conditions? Number one, hypersensitivity to a lot of growth factors or hormones involved in blood cell production. For example, kahit mababa ang levels mo ng erythropoietin, as we all know, erythropoietin is the major hormone for RBC production. Kahit low lang yung levels nun, hypersensitive na. Okay? Ibig sabihin, madami nang napoproduce ng RBC production kahit mababa ang EPO levels ng isang patient. Another explanation for this condition is that the bone marrow does not follow the regulation due to due to their independence. Hindi na niya kailangan ng mga hormones or other proteins involved in blood cell production. Kaya na niya mag-produce on its own. This is bad news kasi kailangan ng mga hormones to produce, to inhibit, and to regulate the normal range of levels for each cell. Hindi pwedeng sumusobra din tayo ng mga blood cells natin. Okay, we have four types or classification of these disorders according to WHO. So, unahin natin itong CML. CML is, again, chronic myelogenous leukemia. So, ano ang mas nagpo-proliferate na cell pagdating dito sa type of condition? Siyempre, yung mga leukocytes or WBCs. Next naman is PV, polycythemia vera, or in other books, polycythemia vera leukemia. This type of condition, ano naman ang mas nagpo-proliferate? Siyempre, yung ating RBC. Okay? Okay. ET is again, paki-correct, essential thrombocythemia yan. And then, ano naman ang type of cell na mas dumadami in ET? Your platelets naman. Okay? Sa PMF or your primary myelofibrosis, lahat ng blood cells madami. WBC, RBC, platelet, plus fibroblast. Kasi meron, based sa name ng condition, myelofibrosis, so madami rin siyang fibrin or fibroblast. And according to WHO, merong common denominator lahat itong myeloproliferative neoplasm, which is the genetic mutation of JAK2 JAK2 mutation. Pero may exception tayo dyan. Lahat ng myeloproliferative neoplasm has JAK2 mutation except your CML. So, paki-take note yan. Okay. Pag-usapan natin ulit si chronic myelogenous leukemia or in other books, chronic granulocytic leukemia. Ang mean age of the patients having this kind of condition is 50 years old. So, masasabi natin na pang-elderly itong type of leukemia na to. And again, it has genetic mutation called Philadelphia chromosome. Sa Philadelphia chromosome, meron tayong transposition of your chromosome 9 and 22 causing your fusion of ABL and BCR gene. So, paano ginagamit yan in clinics? Actually, nag-request lang nito to identify if the patient has a good prognosis or bad prognosis. The presence of your Philadelphia chromosome will dictate na merong good prognosis yung patient. Hindi siya ginagamit as pang-diagnose. Sa peripheral blood smear naman, makikita mo, no, madaming granulocytes, kaya nga siya tinawag na chronic granulocytic leukemia, with blast accumulation of less than 20%. Kapag nag-more than 20% na yan, mako-convert na yung chronic myelogenous leukemia mo into acute myelogenous leukemia. So, ang cutoff is 20. And again, wala tong JAK2 mutation. Clinicians often met with difficulty of diagnosing CML kasi madalas itong condition na to, it is often confused with leukemoid reaction. So ano nga ba ang leukemoid reaction? So from the term itself, no, leukemoid. So nilaglalagay tayo ng suffix OID if it imitates the actual root word. So in this word, no, leukemia. So mukha daw siyang leukemia. Okay? So ano bang nangyayari dito? Bakit siya mukhang leukemia, no? In this reaction, nagkakaroon daw ng active production of your leukocytes even above 50 times 10 raised to the 9th power per liter of blood. Malaki yan. Imagine nyo, di ba, ang ating WBCs, ang range niyan usually is 5 to 10 or 5 to 11. Dito, above 50, no? And mukha din siyang leukemia. Aside from this number, meron din siyang maraming young cells or blast cells or yung tinatawag nating shift to the left reaction. So, mukha nga naman talaga siyang leukemia. Okay? Pero, no, in these reactions or condition, nagkakaroon lang tayo ng leukemoid reaction kapag kailangan na or kapag yung katawan mo ay nakamit ng matinding bacterial infection, matinding viral infection. Actually, normally, nangyayari talaga to in times of this inflammation or infections. Now, dahil nakakalito nga in laboratory diagnosis, no, to differentiate your leukemoid reaction from the actual leukemia, no, madalas comparable siya with the CML. One must perform this test called LAP scoring test. Okay, LAP is also known as leukocyte alkaline phosphatase test. And this enzyme is commonly seen in neutrophils lang with normal growth. Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng normal growth? Ibig sabihin hindi sila dumulundag ng differentiation, no? And sumusunod sa tamang cell cycle. Unlike sa mga leukemia and malignant cells, hindi nasusunod yung cell cycle. So, mas makikita ngayon ang lab activity sa mga normal cells as compared sa cancer cells. Kaya mas madami ang lab score or mas malaki ang lab score sa leukemia as compared to your leukemia. Okay? And the staining technique used in lab scoring is what you call the Kaplow's method. Kaya may makikita kayo na instead of lab scoring ang term, Kaplow's method ang nilalagay nila sa question. So, parehas lang itong dalawang ito. Okay? And ano ba ang normal range ng lab score para masabi natin kung increase or decrease? The normal score is 20 to 100. Less than 20 CML, more than 100 leukemia reaction. So, paano ba ginagawa itong Kaplow's method? So, meron tayong grading system na yan. And objectively lang natin nilalagyan ng grade based dun sa criteria na to. Okay? Mas intense yung color of the cytoplasm or the granules, mas malaki yung number or the grade of the cell. So, anong unang step na gagawin ng medtech in lab scoring? Magbibilang yan ng 100 WBC, okay? And then i-grade bawat isa according to their intensity of the color. So halimbawa itong case na to, no? Nakapagbilang si medtech ng 100 WBC and bawat WBC ginrade niya according to the intensity of the granular color. Okay? And then imumultiply niya yan. Halimbawa 0 times 52. So may 52 WBCs na may 0 grade. Okay? So 0 yan. 1 plus 20. So 1 times 20, 20. Okay? 2 times 16, 32, and so on. So, i-add ni medtech yan, and the final number will be the lab score or the Kaplow's score. So, interpret natin to, is this normal, leukemia, or CML? Normal ang lab score, so hindi yan leukemia and hindi rin yan CML. So, ganito ginagawa ang lab scoring. So, aside sa lab score test results, no, ano pa yung differentiating features nung dalawang ito? Okay? So, meron tayong mga predominant cells in leukemia reaction. Madalas, no, neutrophils and band cells ang madami sa leukemia reaction. While in CML, lahat ng cells containing granules, no, including your neutrophils, band cells, eosinophils, and basophils. Okay? Aside from that, ano pa ang pwede mong basis to differentiate the two? Tingnan mo ang platelet counts. Normal ang sa leukemia reaction, while in CML, which is a true myeloproliferative disorder, madami rin ang kanyang platelets. And lastly, no, ito ang mas mahal na technique, kumbaga, para ma-differentiate mo yung dalawa. You have to look for the presence of your Philadelphia chromosome. Philadelphia chromosome positive lang sa CML, while in leukemia reaction, negative. Recall lang natin ulit, ano ba ang meron sa Philadelphia chromosome? No, there is a transposition between your chromosome 9 and 22, specifically, no, your ABL and BCR genes. Nag-fuse sila, no? Or there is a ABL-BCR fusion. Pero at the end of the day, no, the most commonly asked question is the lab scoring. So, pakilagyan yan ng star, okay? Lab score is low in CML, high in leukemia reaction. Again, kanina di ba nabanggit ko yung cut-off natin between chronic and acute leukemia. Di ba dapat 20%. So, in cases of yung CML mo, dumami yung kanyang blast to more than 20%, ang tawag na doon is blast crisis. And blast crisis leukemia can be converted into AML and ALL. So, ang magpapalito ha, ang blast crisis converts your CML into AML or ALL. So, depende kung ano ang dumami na type of blast. Kung ang dumami na type of blast is myeloblast, so magiging AML, lymphoblast naman for ALL. Next naman, polycythemia vera. Pathophysiology niya, again, di ba, same din yan, hypersensitivity to erythropoietin by the bone marrow, and independence of your bone marrow to erythropoietin. Ibig sabihin, hindi na niya kailangan ng erythropoietin to produce RBC, which is, again, a bad thing. So next, paano natin i-diagnose yung PV or polycythemia vera? It has to be, yung patient has 2 major criteria plus 1 minor criteria. So, kailangan meron siyang increased hemoglobin levels plus your JAK2 mutation. Okay? And one of these minor criteria. Panmyelosis. Anong ibig sabihin ng panmyelosis? Pan means all. Okay? So, lahat ng cells in the bone marrow, madami. Bone marrow tong BM. Okay? And then decreased EPO levels. EPO is erythropoietin. Or, meron siyang erythroid colony formation in vitro. So, ibig sabihin, kahit nasa labasan ng katawan, no, walang erythropoietin in the test tube, meron pa rin production or ongoing RBC production. So next is essential thrombocythemia, no, or ET. In some books, ang term is essential thrombocytosis, pero same lang din sila. Anyway, so based on WHO, ang cut-off ng ET is above 450. Pero in your books, sa RODAX, ang cut-off for your ET is 600. So, basahin nyo na ng mabuti ang ating question, yung questionnaire nyo, kung alin ang basis for your ET. Okay? And then, ano naman ang bad thing then with ET? Aside from thrombocytosis, the platelets being produced are dysfunctional or hindi naman nagpe-perform ng hemostasis. Okay? So, meron ka ng thrombotic episodes, meron ka pang bleeding episodes. So, it's a bad condition. And again, may JAK2 mutation ang ET. So, balikan natin ulit yung criteria natin for ET. So, magkaiba yung WHO and RODAX criteria. Sa RODAX, again, above 600, plus, ang hemoglobin mo dapat is less than 13 with stainable iron in the bone marrow. Sa WHO, mas marami ang kanyang criteria. Number 1, dapat above 450 ang platelet count. Ang bone marrow mo naman, kailangan megakaryopoiesis activity lang ang na-appreciate. Okay? Number 3, no myelodysplasia. Ano ibig sabihin ng myelodysplasia? Yung incorrect differentiation of your bone cells, bone marrow cells. So, kailangan nasusunod pa rin yung tamang maturity of the blood cells. And lastly, the JAK2 mutation. For our last condition, primary myelofibrosis or PMF. Basically, there is an increased production of all cells including your fibrin-producing cells called your fibroblasts. No? So, mataas ang ating WBC, no? Mataas ang immature granulocytes, okay? Mataas din ang RBCs with an abnormal picture or morphology in the form of your dacrocytes or teardrop cells. Next cell naman, mataas ang ating platelets at the stage of megakaryocytes. And sabi ko nga, no, madami tayong fibrin. So, saan nanggagaling? Due to the increased number of bone marrow fibroblasts. The main complication of this condition is the splenomegaly or the enlargement of your spleen. So, bakit lumalaki ang spleen natin? Number 1, dahil madami tayong cells na naproproduce, no? Madami rin kailangan i-clear once na nasira sila or naging old, no? Na-reach nila yung lifespan nila. So, saan sila eventually pupunta? Itong mga old or destroyed cells. Pupunta sila sa spleen. So, there is an increased sequestration or if dahil masyadong marami yung naproproduce na blood cells, sometimes they are easily destroyed, no? Madali silang masira. So, madami rin pupunta sa cells. I mean sa spleen. Next reason, no, is that there is an extramedullary hematopoiesis. Extramedullary, ibig sabihin, the process of your blood cell production happens outside the bone marrow, no? Kaya extra outside, medullary, no, yung gitnang portion ng bone marrow mo, no? Yun ang place, no, outside the bone marrow. Okay? So anong reason bakit kailangan mag-produce pa ng additional blood cells OA na ang bone marrow mo in producing a lot of cells? The reason behind that is yung mga blood cells na naproproduce ng bone marrow in this condition are defective, no? Madami nga, pero dysfunctional sila, madaling masira or agad namamatay. Kaya magko-compensate yung katawan mo, no? Hahanap siya ng organ capable of producing blood cells. And one of these organs is the spleen. Kaya lumalaki ang spleen kasi meron siyang extra activity, no? Meron siyang dito nagkakaroon ng hematopoietic activity. So, balikan ko lang ulit si dacrocytes. No, alam ko na-discuss na to previously, but it is nice to recall this type of RBC abnormal morphology. This is also known as teardrop cells. No, mukha silang tears or luha. Okay? Aside from myelofibrosis, it is also associated with myelophthic disorders. Ano nga ulit itong condition na to? There is an abnormal infiltration of cells not innate in the bone marrow. Anong mga example ng mga yan? No? Ang most common cause of myelophthic disorders are your cancer cells. Hindi sila normal sa bone marrow. They can infiltrate, no? They can infiltrate yung mga spaces designated for blood cell production. Okay? Lastly, no, dacrocytes are also seen in megaloblastic anemia. Remember, megaloblastic anemia, there is an abnormal DNA maturation. So that is the end of this slide. Make sure to use this supplementary material on top of the handouts given to you last week. Thank you for listening.